Welcome back to the Global Business Report here on Rise News. The FSDH Merchant Bank has suggested that the federal government should consider issuance of zero-coupon bonds to manage the high interest expenses on debt. The bank quoted available figures from the Central Bank of Nigeria, which showed that Nigerians spent a total of $33.04 billion between 2009 and 2018 as personal travel expenses on education and health-related issues. This amount increased the demand pressure in the foreign exchange market. Still in Nigeria, the country's apex bank says there was an increase in foreign direct investment during the 2018 financial period. It stated this while reacting to a report on Reuters, quoting World Investment Report 2019, recently released by UNCTAD on foreign direct investment to African countries. Now, the bank noted that the report alleged a decrease of over 40% in FDI inflows to Nigeria in 2018. Now on these stories, financial analyst Mukhtar Mohammed joins me in the studio. Mukhtar, it's good to have you again.
Thank you, Nii.
All right. First of all, what are zero-coupon bonds and when are they actually being applied here?
Well, I think the FIS is trying to just suggest other easier means for government to be able to get funding that will not actually affect this, because you say zero coupon is just like somebody is not really having need for his money for a while. He just wants a safe havens. And but generally, most investors will not be so excited about such, because even the foreign investors are already excited about Nigeria and Eurobond because of the type of rate they get from there. So getting a zero coupon is more or less very difficult. But when you look at what they're trying to see how we can begin to manage our debt profile, because our debt profile is getting alarming by the day. And again, coming from them also, and coming recently when the African Development Bank was even telling all African countries that their own borrowing rate is even cheaper than what they get from China.
Yeah.
So they should begin to think of exploiting African. So it's some of those issues that I think Nigerians should begin to look into and see if they could exploit the African development option, which is more cheaper in terms of value and everything. But the government will tell you that when the Chinese loan comes also with the expatriate side of it.
Yes.
And again, when you look at the current borrowing, I keep telling people, we need to borrow a ride. I can say that at the inception of this administration, they've been able to borrow a ride because they are borrowing for key infrastructural development. They are borrowing tied to Pacific, and these Pacific are tied to the Chinese development banks, and they are in turn bringing the technical capital to technical expertise to carry out this project, so which is good compared to borrowing to take care of recurrent expenditure. And that's what is happening in states, because most states are borrowing to take care of recurrent expenditure instead of capital projects. So there and that also add to the debt profile of the nation.
Very good. Now, despite the difficulty, as you alluded to, of getting the zero-coupon bonds, what do you think are the immediate benefits? Is it on a short-term outlook or on the longer term? What do you make of it?
I think it's for the short term outlook. I think that's what they are trying to say. The government should look at the short term, because we're looking at how to balance our high debt profiles. So that's why they are looking at that. Zero coupon borrow is more or less like you just. I don't know how that will plan out, especially whereby you are trying to attract investors.
But have we ever used it before?
No, I don't think so. We've never used it. Remember this issue of borrowing, euro borrowing, started during the civilian administration, especially during, I think it was during the Goodluck Jonathan administration.
Yeah.
During the President Olusegun administration, we did not use that. And Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala came up with this because he saw that it was a cheaper means of borrowing for the government instead of borrowing from banks in Nigeria or from capital market, which the terms of payment was between 18 to 19%.
Very good. Now, Mukhtar, let's take a look at the FDI scenario. An increase in FDI as of 2018 by the CBN claims. How would you assess that against myriads of economic challenges we've been having during that period and up to this moment?
I think we have completing reports about that, because the United Nations of just recently released the report where they say that about 49% of foreign direct investment, 49% reduction in foreign direct investment in Nigeria. And then the CBN came to defend that. Now, let's talk about the CBN. CBN is not really clear in terms of the type of investment that we get, foreign direct investment that we attract. Because the United Nations report was definite about foreign direct investment. Those are investments that are coming in to stay in the nation for a while.
Yeah.
Those people that are coming in to create jobs. And then you look at that, vice versa, the kind of high unemployment rate, then you can say that actually we've not attracted the right foreign direct investment, because CBN did not come across to tell us foreign direct investment or portfolio investment, because what we've actually attracted in these past 4 years was portfolio investment because of the cheap nature of our equity market in terms of violation of some of those equities in the equity market. So, but when you talk about foreign direct investment that is coming in to stay, we've not had it good since December, because we had it very good during the first, the second time. But during these past 4 years, it has been, remember, we had a lot of challenges that we're not able to, at a point, we didn't create the two-way exchange system until the CBN came up with the import-export window. That's when we started attracting portfolio investors, not even foreign direct investors.
Very good. Now that CBN is refuting UNCTAD's report, and as you alluded to, that the reports are conflicting, who then do we believe?
Ordinarily, you should believe your CBN, because they seems to have more figures, because Ultra are not giving us details of how they got their figures from. CBN is giving us that you can also go and check in the National Bureau of Statistics and others. So ordinarily, you should follow them. But when you look at the reality on ground, you tend to question what the CBN is talking, especially if we have attracted this amount of foreign direct investment, then we should have been seeing an unemployment rate going a little bit down, because we are looking at investment that are coming to stay in the nation. But like I said, it all depends on what CBN is looking at. Yeah. Like I said, it's by and large, most of these investment are portfolio investors.
Very good. Now, from a market perspective, how would you review FDI inflows in Nigeria last year, and what are the issues here, you think?
I think FDI investment into Nigeria last year was not very impressive. But I think towards the end, we started attracting a little of those FDI investment when we looked at some of those investment that came in, especially in the era whereby Dangote Flour was acquired by foreign investors also. So you can look at that as a major breakthrough that we had in terms of foreign investors coming into the market with a lump chunk of money. Yeah. So when you look at that, we can't say we've done very well compared to previous investment in foreign investors that came into the nation, especially when you look at the telecom sector, the type of telecom giant that we're attracting at a point, in terms of even if they come into just in terms of facility management, or in terms of just coming into to create an environment to supply some of this equipment to the major players, we could justify that those people are no more there. And so what we are seeing now is that the major players are trying to attract investors to come in, expatriates to come into the nation, not creating that job profile, because before then we have the ISA coming in for the Mars. Yeah. They have left, and so MTN have to be going to partnership with Ericsson, and Ericsson also have to. So if you look at all that, you won't say that we've attracted very high, notable foreign direct investment.
Obviously, a void need to be filled there in the market as well. All right, very good. Mukhtar Mohammed, I would like to thank you very much for your thoughts on those issues. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Neil.
That's Global Business Report at this hour. Stay tuned to Arise News from all of us. Thanks for your company. I'm Lee Wee Law.